Hello students, I am DM Jain sir, your science teacher. Now we are going to start the next topic of your third chapter from science for, that is chemical reactions and equation. Now today we are going to see the two main topics. The first topic is type of reaction and second one is what are the factors which affect the chemical reaction. Now here first of all let us try to understand what are the types of chemical reaction. There are four types of chemical reaction. What are that four types of chemical reaction? The first one is known as combination reaction. Second one is known as decomposition reaction. Third one is known as displacement reaction, and fourth one is known as double displacement reaction. Right? Now these are the four types of reaction. Now let us try to understand what is meant by combination reaction. Now before going to see what is meant by combination reaction, mathematically, which is not given in your textbook, I can prepare myself. How can we easily understand these four types of reaction and easily identified if the chemical reactions are given, and you have to classify that chemical reaction into their types. At that time this concept is very useful for you. Now combination reaction, it means that when two or more than two reactions combine together and there is a formation of single product, at that time that reaction is known as combination reaction. Mathematically we can represent this reaction as, suppose that there are A and B are two reactors. If they are combined together, there is a formation of single product AB, which is written on the blackboard. A plus B gives AB. Now let us try to understand one example of combination reaction. In standard 8 we are already learned and observed and perform the experiment of burning of magnesium ribbon. Same equation here we are going to take. When magnesium ribbon is burnt in air, there is a formation of magnesium oxide, which is represented by chemical formula MgO. When magnesium is reacted with oxygen, there is a formation of magnesium oxide. Now here when we observe that there are two reactants, and from that two reactants there is formation of single product. So this reaction is known as combination reaction. This is the first type of reaction. Second one, decomposition reaction. This reaction decompose, right? When there is composition, you have to break that composition and prepare new substances. Now mathematically it is represented as AB. It is a single reactant. This single reactant is converted into two or more than two products. That is, AB is converted into A plus B. Now when we are going to define decomposition reaction, the reaction in which two or more than two products are formed from a single reactant. The reaction in which two or more than two products are formed from a single reactant, that is known as decomposition reaction. Now here we consider the example of decomposition reaction. Now calcium carbonate, when reacted, there is formation of calcium oxide and production of carbon dioxide gas. A single reactant gives two or more than two products, so it is known as decomposition reaction. Now decomposition reaction is of two types. The first one is known as thermal decomposition reaction and second one is known as electrolytic decomposition reaction. What is the difference between thermal decomposition reaction and electrolytic decomposition reaction? In thermal decomposition reaction, there is use of heat. Right? Here this example of calcium carbonate is heated at high temperature. It is converted into calcium oxide and there is a formation of carbon dioxide. This is called as thermal decomposition reaction. And what is the second type of this decomposition reaction? This is electrolytic decomposition reaction. The name itself suggests us what is meant by electrolytic decomposition reaction? In electrolytic decomposition reaction, there is use of electric current. What is there? There is a use of electric current. Now in 6th and 7th standard, we have already learned about the electrolytic decomposition reaction of water, right? Electrolysis of water, that is the concept. Here 2H2, that is water, is converted into hydrogen gas and oxygen gas when electric current is provided. So this is called as electrolytic decomposition. Now third one is known as displacement reaction. Now what is displacement reaction? Now before going to start, once again let us see what is combination and decomposition. Combination, when two or more than two elements combine together and there is a formation of single product, it is called as combination. To combine together, right? Decomposition, when from a single reactant there is a formation of two or more than two products. To decompose, right? To destruct that reactant into two or more than two products, that is called as decomposition. Displacement reaction. Now we already know what is meant by displacement, right? The reaction in which the place of the ion of a less reactive element in a compound is taken by more reactive element, that reaction is known as displacement reaction. Now mathematically we can represent it as AC is a compound. When it is reacted with B, B is displaced at the position of C, therefore the product becomes AB and C is separated. Here displacement of C takes place, so this reaction is called as displacement reaction. Now let us see one more example of displacement reaction. When zinc is reacted with copper sulfate solution, there is formation of zinc sulfate and copper. Now in this reaction we find that the copper sulfate, in which sulfate group is displaced to the zinc and there is a formation of zinc sulfate. Less reactive element or compound, or you may be called it as ion, is replaced by higher reactive elements by formation of its own ion. Now instead of zinc, you can be take the example of ferrous plus copper sulfate. We find that there is again formation of ferrous sulfate plus copper. Same thing is happen here. Now fourth type is double displacement reaction. Now in double displacement reaction we find that the reaction in which the ions in the reactants are exchanged. The ions in the reactants are exchanged to form a precipitate are called a double displacement reaction. Now mathematically how we can represent it? When AB is reacted with CD, there is a formation of AC plus BD, right? Here C is take the place of B and B is take the place of C, right? Mutual exchange takes place, so it is called as double displacement reaction. Now let us see example of double displacement reaction. Silver nitrate, when reacted with the sodium chloride, there is a formation of silver chloride and sodium nitrate. Now here we find that NO3 is attached to the Na and Cl takes the place of nitrate group, that is NO3 group. So we get AgCl and sodium nitrate. These are the four types of chemical reaction. Now after that there are two reactions which is known as exothermic reaction and endothermic reaction. Now what is mean by exothermic reaction and what is mean by endothermic reaction? Now see, exothermic reaction. When in any reaction heat is evolved, that reaction is called as exothermic reaction, and second one is known as endothermic reaction. endothermic, where heat is absorbed. Where heat is absorbed. Now let us take some examples in our daily routine life. Now we are generally observe one thing, that when the limestone is taken and when we pour water into limestone, we find that there is a vapor, and sound takes place. That reactions tells us that in that reaction heat is evolved, so it is called an exothermic reaction. Now in endothermic reaction, heat is absorbed. Now how this can take place? Now let us take some urea, which is used as a fertilizer for the crop. Now this urea is mixed with the water, and when we mix this urea with water and touch the test tube, we find that the test tube becomes very cool. Now it means that in this reaction heat is absorbed, so it is called as endothermic reaction. Now let us see the next topic, that is rate of chemical reaction. There may be question in your example, explain the concept of exothermic reaction and endothermic reaction with one example. At that time you have to give these two examples and its definition. Rate of chemical reaction. Now let us see the next topic, rate of chemical reaction. Now we find that some reactions are completed in very short time, but some reaction, when they are going to complete, they takes a lot of time. That is, they occurs very slowly. It means that the rate of reaction is different for different reaction. Right? Now when we consider about the factor which affects the rate of chemical reaction, that factors are factors affecting rate of chemical reaction. Now let us see which factors affect the rate of chemical reaction. The first one is the nature of reactant. Nature of reactant. Now let us try to understand in Marathi what is mean by nature of reaction. जो पदार्थ अभिक्रियेमध्ये भाग घेणार आहे त्याचं स्वरूप कसं आहे. Right? Now let us see very simple example in our daily routine life. If we take sugar in the crystalline form and sugar in the powder form, now tell me which sugar is dissolved fastly in the water. Now your answer is that the powder form of sugar is dissolved very soon in the water. Right? It means that here the nature of reactant decides the rate of chemical reaction. Here powder form, when there is a powder form, at that time the rate of reaction is fast. When there is crystalline form, the rate of reaction is slow. Right? Now we can, this is your daily routine life examples. Now when we consider about the chemical example, when aluminum or zinc react with the dilute hydrochloric acid, at that time hydrogen gas is liberated. Now here when we find that in case of aluminum and zinc, aluminum is more reactive than zinc, therefore the reaction of aluminum and HCl is fast than that of zinc, because it is more reactive in nature. That is, the nature of reactant decided the rate of chemical reaction. Second factor is that we find that the concentration of the reactant. Second factor, concentration of reactant. Concentration. In Marathi it is called as सहती. आता सहती म्हणजे नेमकी काय, की समजा उदाहरणार्थ आपण लिंबू सरबत बनवायला सुरुवात केली. लिंबू सरबत बनवत असताना एका ग्लास साठी आपण पूर्ण एका लिंबाचा रस वापरला तर ते लिंबू सरबत आंबट बनणार चवीने. पण त्याच्यामध्ये योग्य प्रमाणामध्ये अर्धा लिंबू, पाव लिंबू जर आपण मिक्स केला तर त्याला सरबतासारखीच चव आपल्याला, जी आपल्याला फारशी आंबट लागणार नाही अशी चव जी प्राप्त होते. म्हणजे त्याचा अर्थ काय, आपण या ठिकाणी काय बदलली, त्याची लिंबाची संहती बदलली, प्रमाण आपण बदललं. कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन ऑफ द रिएक्शन. When we perform any type of chemical reaction, at that time, suppose that if we use dilute acid instead of concentrated acid, we find that the rate of reaction becomes slow. But when we use concentrated acid, the rate of reaction becomes fast. Now, when we are going to perform any experiment in the laboratory, at that time, teachers generally use concentrated acid because this concentration of reactant increases the rate of reaction, because we have limited period of 35 minutes, and in that period we have to complete that experiment so that concentration of reactants are increases. Right? Now third one is, which is known as catalyst. Now in Marathi it is called as utprerak. Now see what is meant by catalyst. Catalyst, it is a product by just presence of this catalyst increases the rate of reaction. It cannot take part in any chemical reaction. Now I think you cannot understand this definition of catalyst. In Marathi it is called as utprerak. एक साधं एक्झाम्पल आपण आपल्या दैनंदिन जीवनातलं घेऊया की वर्गामध्ये शिक्षक नसेल तर काय होतं, गोंधळ सुरू होतो. वर्गामध्ये शिक्षक आल्यानंतर वर्गामध्ये शांतता निर्माण होते. का बरं? या ठिकाणी शिक्षक तुमच्या अभ्यासामध्ये सहभाग घेत नाही, परंतु त्यांची उपस्थिती काय करते, तुमचा अभ्यासाचा वेग वाढवते. या ठिकाणी शिक्षकाची भूमिका कोणती राहते, कॅटलिस्टची भूमिका राहते, हे आपण बघू शकतो. दिस इज द थर्ड फॅक्टर विच अफेक्ट द रेट ऑफ केमिकल रिएक्शन. राइट? नाउ फोर्थ वन इज द टेम्परेचर. If the temperature of the reaction is increased, the rate of reaction increases, and when the temperature of the reaction decreases, the rate of chemical reaction decreases. आता हेच आपण साध्या सोप्या पद्धतीने बघू शकतो की जर समजा वडिलांना गावात कोणत्या कामासाठी जायचं असेल आणि त्यांनी आईला सांगितलं की मला चहा पटकन ठेव, तर आई आपल्याला फुल गॅसवर चहा करताना दिसते. पण ज्यावेळेस वडिलांना घाई नसेल त्यावेळेस सिम गॅसवर 10 मिनिटात चहा तयार होतो. पण ज्यावेळेस वडिलांना घाई राहते त्यावेळेस गॅस काय केला जातो, फुल केला जातो, म्हणजे टेम्परेचर काय केलं जातं, इन्क्रीज केलं जातं. का बरं? तर चहा लवकर उकळला गेला पाहिजे. म्हणजे इफ द टेम्परेचर इज इन्क्रीज, द रेट ऑफ केमिकल रिएक्शन इज ऑल्सो इन्क्रीज. राइट? दीज आर द फॅक्टर्स विच अफेक्ट द रेट ऑफ केमिकल रिएक्शन. Thank you. In the next lecture, we are going to find out what is meant by redox reaction. Before that, we must know what is meant by oxidation reaction, reduction reaction, then redox reaction, and then what is meant by corrosion. Okay, thank you.